Hello, welcome to the tutorial on how to set up the climbing system for your specific player character. The next one is going to be on how to set it up on AI, which is really easy. Or we could probably do that at the end of this video. We'll see. I'm just going to open up my project. Let it load. Boom. This is a little simple project I have. I have an AI that just roams around every now and again. When the player is close enough, it shakes the camera when he steps, and my player just plays simple attack animations right now. It doesn't actually do damage or anything like that, but I want him to climb this guy, or climb something, you know. So let's do that. You're gonna want to go to your games launcher, Epic Games Launcher, and just add the component climbing system to your project. This is 420, but it's the same workflow in 421. So that should be fine. Good. Now, there are all the stuff. To make sure everything's working properly, we need to go to Edit, Project Settings, and make sure we add our trace channels that we use. So, first one is clingable. Ignore. And the second one is damageable. And set that to ignore. And we want to go into our components under blueprints and go to our base cling object. And we just want to make sure that since we just made those trace channels, that all of these are set to clingable, that they're blocking the clingable volume. Box, yes, mesh, yes. Let's make sure that this one is the same, clingable. And the limb. Yep. Yeah. And we want to make sure that, yep, they're all doing the right thing. Well, we'll see if they're not. You would also, well, if you're going to use this default climbing character that I made, you would also want to go into your project settings and make these inputs for attack, grab, and yeah, just those two, because these won't work without it. Well, you can always just add, like, if you want to grab to the E key, you can always make a new one, or just use the E key and then hook that up or something, but you don't really have to. I'm not going to do that for this character because this character doesn't use these. It's just a simple character. Now, to my character. It's just a default third-person character with attacking on mouse click and the little ray trace will not actually play the little particle. But what we need to do is add our clinging functionality, and it doesn't take a lot. What we need to do is go to add component and type in cling and get BP cling component, and now we can get a couple of functions from this. The functions we're gonna want to add are drag off of the pin component, so on begin, tick function, let go, oh, let go ledge, and grab on this one. On begin is gonna come straight off of event begin play. And the character ref is self. This is pretty much what sets up the character. You can put it like a default launch speed. What launch speed and trace distance references? Launch speed is the default launch speed on when you're trying to let go of the edge and you're trying to launch when you're letting go. This is the default like velocity impulse that you'll get. And the trace distance reference is just a trace of your what do you call it? When you're trying to grab on. That's the default, but this can always be changed, and I change it. So distance ref, let's just put that 300. Just give it a value. Don't have to, but you can. Tick function. This is on tick or event tick, or you can go off of event begin play and do a set timer, and you can just put this into a custom event and make it run really fast, but not as fast as tick if you don't want it to be on tick, but it works better on tick. Put my interpolate and just make that 20. Forward and right, these are going to be your axis values, like this move forward and move right. These are the axis values that it's for your inputs. But you'd want to promote these to a variable. Axis forward and axis right. We made these into a variable to pretty much we're gonna use these later to fuel our animation, our climbing animation, the blend space for it. Let go of ledge and grab on. These are going to be, it's pretty much just gonna handle our climbing, and I'm gonna do this off of key E. So when we press key E, if is clinging on the cling component is true, well, it is true, and we're gonna just let go of that. That means that we're already on it and we're trying to get back off. But if we're not clinging, we're going to try and grab on. And the endpoint, this is pretty much, it's going to trace from the character to a specific endpoint. You can make that whatever you want. I tend to just get actor. I try to trace right in front of my character for a few feet. animation vector forward vector. Make this plus, and let's multiply this by, let's say, 150. So this will make the endpoint of the trace 150 units ahead of us. So this is good for the functions, like the main functions that drive the character. You need to add, well, go to class settings and interfaces. We want to add the cling animation. Compile that, and we want to add event cling with a question mark. This pretty much notifies the player when the cling component is trying to stop clinging or start clinging, and this will in turn notify our animation blueprint. So we want to get the mesh, get anim instance, and call cling as a message. And we're gonna just hook those up. So if we start clinging, we're gonna tell the animation blueprint to start clinging, and if we're not, do the same for the animation blueprint. Let's compile. Next, we want to make sure that when we are clinging, we're not trying to move with the forward vector. When we're using the forward axis inputs, we're going to be moving up and down. So, and we're going to be, instead of using our control rotation that uses just a yaw, we're going to be using our whole actor rotation. So we can move these back. And pull off of this and do select rotator. In fact, let's stack these. And pick A. We can drag in our cling component and get is clinging. And that's going to be how we select it. So if we're not clinging, it's going to be B. So we're going to be using our default control rotation and forward vector. Well, yeah. And if we are clinging, we're going to be getting our actor rotation instead, and setting these values off of our actor rotation. Put this back, and we can pull off of this and do the up vector, and we'll pretty much do the same thing we did here. Is the same thing we'll do here. We'll drag off of this and do select vector. If we're not clinging, we're going to be using the forward, but if we are clinging, we're going to be using the up vector, and set pick A to clinging, to is clinging. And one more important thing for here, these input values, these axis values, we're going to be setting them to this axis value right here. So, oh wait, wrong one. Input forward is going to be the same as our current axis value for the move forward input, and axis right is going to be the same as move right. You can actually hook these up. Yeah. And that's actually it for the player. clone events. If we wanted to, we can actually, as a matter of fact, we will. If you're clinging and you want to like jump off, well, jump up and out when you press jump, you can actually get the cling component and copy these. And if we are clinging, when we press jump, we can let go of ledge. And we can launch on exit, and we can tell launch velocity is like, let's do 800. But if we're not clinging, we're just gonna do regular jump. Oh, I gotta hook these together. Alright, yeah, and I guess that's it. Psych, one more thing. We want to make sure that this flying speed, because when we start clinging, I changed the character movement mode to flying. We want to make sure that it's, oh, I already said it's low to simulate the more climbing movement. So I set the fly speed to 100 and the deceleration, I set it high so that he'll stop like automatically when you let go. So now if we go back into the level, go to clinging, blueprints, components, and we just drag in a basic cling object. Make this big. And we jump and hit E. He doesn't play any animations because we didn't set up the animations yet, but he'll start clinging around it. Or climbing. I don't know why I say clinging. Well, I put it as clinging, but I don't know why I didn't just put climbing. We can change it to a mesh, and that mesh could be anything. It depends on the actual collision of the mesh, how your character rotates on it. So on this cone, he aligns himself with the cone because that's how the collision is on the cone. A pipe. And let's change this to like a capsule, or let's change back to a box. And we can change it to be climbed out of, what do you call it, when we get high enough on it and it reaches and we detect a flat surface in front of us, like a walkable surface. This means that he'll jump up. Well, he'll like launch himself up and over when we get there. Yeah, we can press space to jump off of it since we hooked that up in our player. If we don't want him to jump off, we can also like uncheck can be climbed and put on character. So now when we go up, he stays on it. Let's see, can I get under it? Yep, I'm too low. Yeah, but we have one more, which is, oh, I don't know why I played it then. has exit animation. This will only work if can be climbed is true and on character is false. He won't do anything right now because the climbing animation that I defaultly have is set up only for the mannequin that I have. So that's a good segue into the whole making the animations play part, which is right now, right? So we want to go to, well, we want to make sure our character, well, this guy can be can have his animations retargeted, and yeah, he's set up. Okay, so we need to go into our clinging folder, animations, blend spaces, this BS cling, we need that. So retarget animations. Oh, he has the wrong one. Hold up, I need to change his retarget pose. So go to character, go to skeleton, and view pose. So now I can change it to the T pose that my other character has. Down. Okay, and use current pose. So now, yeah, there we go. So now I can go to animations, blend spaces again, and I just opened it. Right click it and retarget animations. Make sure you click your character, and I'm gonna change the output folder to just be in the meshes folder that I have. And there we go. I'm also gonna do the same thing for, where are you? My climb attack and climb range. How about that? Duplicate and into meshes. So if we go look at these things, that's the climb attack. There we go. Yeah, it looks nice. It looks nice. Now to make these play, I need to trigger them in, well, set them up in my animation blueprint. So I just clicked my character, and under anim class, I'm just going to search that and open my blueprint. And we're going to want to set up a few stuff. We're going to need a forward val for value and a right val. These are going to be used for the blend space in the animation blueprint. And to set those, all we're going to do is get a reference to our character. I already have one called character ref, and get axis forward and get axis axis right. Forward is forward, right is right, and we need a value called clinging. and make this a boolean. This is going to come from our blueprint interface that we're about to add as we speak. So bi cling animation, compile, and come down here and event cling. And we can just drag this into its clinging and it'll hook it up automatically. And now to make sure we actually play it, I'm going to go into wherever I want to run it, run my clinging, and normally it's in a state machine. You can call this however you want. Me, I want to make sure that he can pretty much do this from any state. So I'm going to make states, well, transitions from each state that I have, even from landing to him, to this. Yeah, let's do that. And I'm going to just make a state going back to fall, because when he lets go, he's most likely going to be falling. And for each entry state, it's always going to be if clinging is true. Well, you know. And for each, well, exit state that you have, or might have, or will have, it's just going to be if clinging is not true. Yay. So now this thing is set up to has exit animation, but he's not going to play it yet. I'll show you how, but he should do his clinging animation, but he's not. And I know why. Because we didn't actually set up the right and the right value and the forward value. So now when we do that, yeah, now he's climbing. Now he's climbing. But he won't do that. He won't do the exit animation. Because that's all within, where are you, where are you, where are you, where are you? Thinking. The cling blueprint. Well, actually, it's in him. The exit animation is default. The climb up animation is default to the one that I have for the mannequin. So if you change that to his own, this, oh, and make sure this thing is set to player. Oversight. This, his exit thing should work now. Yeah, there we go. He climbs up beautifully. He's a natural. Well, almost beautifully. The climbing animation kind of sucks that I made, but I'm sure you guys have better ones. And I guess that's it for this tutorial. The next one is gonna be just setting them up on characters, well, AI characters. So it's just gonna like build off of this one. Or should I do that now? Oh, we'll see. Alright guys.